So, you've probably heard this term Web3 thrown around, right? It sounds super technical, maybe a little intimidating, but at its core, it's just the next step for the internet. And in this explainer, we are going to cut through all the noise and break down exactly what it is, and more importantly, what it means for you.
Here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about the next internet and how we got here. Then we're going to look under the hood at how blockchain actually works. After that, we'll get practical with your digital wallet, the one tool you absolutely need. We'll see it all come together in a really cool real-world example. And then we'll wrap up with the big picture, the risks, and the incredible opportunities.
All right, let's dive in. To really get why Web3 is such a huge deal, we kind of have to take a quick trip back in time. You see, the internet that we use every day didn't just pop into existence. It grew in stages.
Think of it like this. Back in the 90s, we had Web 1. This was the read-only internet. It was basically a bunch of digital brochures. You could look stuff up, but that was about it. Then around 2004, Web 2 came along. That's the internet we're all familiar with. Social media, blogs, YouTube. We could finally create and share. But there was a catch. A few giant tech companies controlled everything. They owned the platforms and they owned our data. And that brings us to now, Web 3, the user-owned internet, where the power shifts from the big companies back to us, the users.
And this really is the heart of the matter. In Web 2, your online life is basically rented. A big company controls your data, they can delete your account for any reason, and they make all the money from your content. Web 3 flips that script completely. You own your data. You control your digital identity. You own your digital stuff. It is a fundamental shift from renting to owning.
So, you're probably wondering, okay, how is that even possible? Well, that brings us to the engine that powers this whole new internet. Let's talk about blockchain. The easiest way to think about a blockchain is to imagine a public notebook. But instead of just one notebook sitting in an office somewhere, this notebook is copied thousands of times and shared on computers all over the world. When someone adds a new entry, every single copy gets updated at the same time. This makes it super transparent and incredibly hard to cheat or hack, because you'd have to change thousands of copies at once without anyone noticing. And best of all, no single company owns it.
Now, the other piece of the puzzle is something called a smart contract. Don't let the name scare you. It's just like a digital vending machine. You know how a vending machine works, right? You put in money, that's the condition, and the machine automatically gives you a snack. A smart contract is just code that says, if this happens, then do that. It all happens automatically, without needing a person in the middle to approve it. This is huge because it cuts out middlemen, which saves time, money, and reduces the chance of corruption.
So let's put it all together. You've got the blockchain, which is the super secure shared database. You've got smart contracts, which are these automatic, trustless agreements, and you have wallets, which is how we, the users, access it all. Those three things together are the foundation of Web3. And that's the perfect lead-in to our next part. We've talked about the big ideas, but how do you actually plug into Web3? Well, it all starts with your digital wallet. Think of it less like a wallet for cash and more like your passport, your login, and your keys to this entire new digital world. Every wallet has two really important parts. First, there's your public key. This is like your email address. You can give it to anyone, no problem. It's how people send you things. But then there's your private key. This is like your password. It proves that you're the owner of the wallet and you must keep it a secret. Okay, now listen up, because this is probably the most important thing you'll learn today. It's called a seed phrase. When you set up a wallet, it gives you a list of 12 or 24 random words. This phrase is the master key to your entire wallet. If you lose your phone, if your computer dies, this seed phrase is the only way to get your stuff back. It's your ultimate backup plan.
And I really need this to sink in. I am not exaggerating when I say this. If anyone gets their hands on your seed phrase, they can take everything. And there's no customer support line to call, there's no bank to reverse the transaction, nothing. You are your own bank now, and that means you are 100% responsible for your own security.
So here are the non-negotiable rules. You write your seed phrase down on paper. You store that paper somewhere safe and offline, like a fireproof safe. You never, ever take a screenshot of it. And you never, for any reason, share it with anyone. I don't care if they say they're from customer support. It's a scam, period.
Okay, enough with the heavy security stuff. Let's talk about something really cool that this technology makes possible. We're going to look at a real-world example, how Web3 is totally changing the game for something called Universal Basic Income, or UBI.
So, the idea of UBI is pretty simple. Give people a basic amount of money regularly to help fight poverty. It's a great idea in theory, but in practice, traditional systems are often a mess. Money gets lost to corruption, bogged down in bureaucracy, and payments can be delayed for months. This is exactly the kind of problem that blockchain and smart contracts were built to solve.
So check out how a project like 0xMintin is doing it. First, a person creates a wallet. We know what that is now. Second, they prove they're a unique human being, which stops people from cheating the system. Then, they just claim their money directly from a smart contract. No middleman, no paperwork, no delays. It just works. And what's really cool is they can even vote on how the whole system is run. It's efficient, transparent, and puts power in the hands of the users.
So as you can see, this is powerful stuff. But all this new freedom and direct control, well, it comes with a catch. It comes with a ton of personal responsibility. So for our last section, let's get real about both sides of the coin, the risks and the opportunities. Look, the simple truth is there are a lot of scammers out there. You have to be on guard. You'll see phishing links that take you to fake websites that look real. You'll get DMs from people pretending to be support trying to help you. Spoiler, they're not. You'll see free money airdrops that are just trying to get you to connect your wallet so they can drain it. And yeah, some projects called rug pulls are just built to steal money and vanish. You have to be careful. But please, don't let that scare you off, because on the other side of that risk is a world of opportunity. Seriously, entirely new jobs are popping up every day. People are earning a living doing freelance work for projects all over the world. And maybe the most powerful thing of all? Web3 is giving people access to a global financial system for the first time. All you need is an internet connection. No bank required.
And that really brings us to the big question, the one you have to ask yourself. The whole point of Web3 is to move from a world where big companies own everything to a world where you do. It gives you true ownership of your data, your identity, and your digital assets. So the only question left is, are you ready for that responsibility?